What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 24, season 4 of the Monday Night Wars. I am Chad Talks, and joining me, as always, is Jmack Gaming.
Oh my God.
That was a weird sound.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
Why?
Because it was weird.
What made it weird, Chad?
Ooh, at the beginning.
No, Chad doesn't like ooze.
Or Oz.
You don't like the Wizard of Oz?
No.
Wow, that's a take. That's a take, Chad. What do you know about Dorothy?
I don't know about Dorothy.
Yeah, what do you know about Dorothy?
Listen, she needs to understand that there's no place like home.
That's a good call, Chad.
Yeah.
What's your home?
What's my home? My here in the illustrious TW streaming house.
We can't call it the streaming house if we don't stream.
True.
Hey! You're getting called.
I know. No, it's ignore it.
Chad's ignoring his mother. That's crazy.
Yeah, fuck my mother. We're playing TEW. That's not important. My parents aren't important. All right, time
Let's
to book
start
some
the show. Yeah.
Time to book some Raw.
We start off Monday Night Raw with on the pre-show. The Bashams they visit the injured Edge at home, and they said, "Look, what's going on? What's going on? Why is Christian? What's he doing? You know, what's he? Why is he bothering us instead of not bothering you?" And Edge is like, "Brother, I haven't watched the product. I'm on the shelf.
I'm on the shelf. I'm injured.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying life right now." And the Bashams will get well soon, brother. Like, kiss him on the forehead. We move on.
Just like I do to you every morning.
I wanted to see if Shane could still go in the pre-show, and Shane can still go. We got a 76. Him being with PJ Black every week has really shot up his popularity.
Nice.
As he's now a 78 pop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he is very over.
Here comes the money.
Dennis Butler. He's back from his Ring of Honor excursion. And, yeah. You probably forgot I had Dennis Butler still, right?
No, I knew you had him.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Bull taking on Lenny Lane here. And Bull gets a big win over the former European champion, Lenny Lane. Big Bull guy. Chad, what's your favorite Bull move?
Oh, the Bull spear.
You could have just said guillotine leg drop.
That's the easy one.
Well, I don't think he did the Bull spear either.
The Bull spear. The L Bull drop.
And Horace Hogan defeats Justin Winston in 10-16 here in the pre-show with a power bomb. They have pretty good chemistry, and it lifted the match. Nice. Horace Hogan, a 62.
Wow.
Horace Hogan can go. He might be the better Hogan right now. Chad laughed out of nervousness that I might be right on that. And our last pre-show match of the night, Teddy Hart and Jimmy Jacobs. Well, that's what happened in
taking on Burger King.
Real WCW. Just your main event guys are all old fucks.
Yeah, a bunch of old fucks.
Well, you're the ones you started with, not now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Teddy Hart and Jimmy Jacobs defeating Burger Cade of John Burger and Lance Cade. When Teddy Hart pins John Burger with the open heart surgery, Chad. Have you ever had open heart surgery?
I've never had open heart surgery.
Do you want to?
No, I'm good.
Sure.
Knock on some wood. So far, so good.
Hello?
Hello?
Well, someone knocked on the door.
That was me knocking on wood. Silly boy.
Knock, knock. We start off Monday Night Raw here with just a match tonight, Chad. No promo, no 100 to get the show rolling. We start off with Ace Steel taking on Justice Payne. That'll get the crowd going.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they have pretty good chemistry.
Ooh.
It was a no DQ match. Why is it a no DQ match?
I don't know, but fucking Ace Steel stabbed him in the head with a steel spike.
Ace Steel getting an 88 here.
Wow.
That's gross. Ace Steel should not be getting 90s. But it was pretty good chemistry, so that obviously helped. Yeah. Justice Payne has a gimmick that's getting stale. What would you do for Ace Steel, Chad?
What would I do for Ace Steel?
He's pretty good.
He is good.
It's better than your champion, Bret Hart. Well, in ring right now in the game, yes.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. Brett's not.
I think Brett's still got an 88, at least an 88 in him still.
I know that. I was about to say they're pretty close to each. I don't. That should. Don't worry. I gave Psychosis $1 million.
Yeah.
And he's worse than an 88. So we all make mistakes.
True.
We move on. Oh, yeah. Here, we start off. Hey, we have our first promo of the night.
Ooh, a promo.
Futures, they come out, right? They come out. And, Brock, they're really not happy, right? Mike Tyson starts talking that shit about not only Chris Jericho and Kurt Angle, but by Vince about even allowing that match last week to make it a triple threat match to even happen, right?
Right.
They're not happy. And, and Brock cuts him off and he just says, Jericho, you piece of shit.
You piece of shit.
You think you can beat Brock Lesnar? Hell, you couldn't even beat Randy Orton. And Randy Orton's like, yeah. And then, that sets up pretty much Jericho versus Orton tonight, Chad.
Nice.
In our co-main
Kurt
event.
Angle was there.
Well, yeah, because Mike Tyson was talking shit about him.
Oh, okay.
That's our co-main event, because if you do... What was our main event tonight, Chad? Let's see if you can remember what I...
don't remember what you said.
We promoted it last Monday Night Raw.
Nice.
The Oklahoma City street fight. Sean Stasiak, Mark Henry in our main event, Chad.
Nice.
This guy doesn't care about the product. China is here. She's here today. She had a load maintenance, like the NBA right now, where their big star players have to take a day off every once in a while. She's here today, and she's set to compete tonight, Chen. Ooh. She's taking on a woman that she beat a few months ago, Lita. Triple H is backstage, and he's just talking to Kevin Kelly, and he says he's sick of Sean Morley, man. All this started with Sean Morley coming back and Triple H not knowing who the hell he is, and now we cut to last week where Sean Morley got a win over him. And Triple H says, I hope you don't celebrate that, Sean, because at the end of the day, you might have a win on your record book against me, but you didn't pin the game. You didn't pin the IC champion. You pinned the lone shitty little boy Fig. You didn't pin the game, and that will continue to be true, because next week you finally get your match against me for this Intercontinental Championship, and that will continue when you still are unable to pin the game. Ooh. We move on. Paul London, Chad, he's in another match looking for a partner while Baron Kendrick's on the shelf, and he's taking on a man that is known for his tag team wrestling.
Ooh, El Samurai.
El Samurai. Chad, you should know who this is, because you booked him at Rising Sun to win the WCW Alliance Global Championships. Yep. And he is still that champion. Uh-huh. So technically... Oh, wait, you got out of that alliance, didn't you?
I think I did.
Oh, uh-oh. Well,
I don't know if I'm technically out of it. We might be.
I think you're out of it.
Yeah.
Well, El Samurai, former WCW superstar, loses to Paul London here. Paul London getting another big win. Will he team up with El Samurai, Chad?
No, probably not.
We move backstage. The Boston Combat Club are eating dinner with their new Nick Gage forks.
Ooh.
As they remember.
What are they eating?
Steak.
Nice.
And eggs.
Ooh.
Steak and eggs. And Christian Cage comes in there and he sits down like it's a lunch. It's like a high school lunch table, and he just sits down. And those three look at him, and Nick Gage stabs him in the head with a fork.
Poor Christian.
And then they steal his food.
Oh no, they're bullies.
China and Lita in this match, and Lita in the middle of it China's about to hit her big move, and out comes Sharmell and attacks China. What is Sharmell doing here from WCW, making her TV debut, Chad?
Wild.
Former WCW Women's Champion for the first time, making her WWF debut here, and helps Lita defeat China.
Former Queen of Starrcade.
Queen of the Ring. Sharmell here to help China, or Lita, get a non-title win over China. What is Sharmell doing? Is she with Lita? Well, she kind of has unfinished business with China over in WCW.
True.
We move backstage. The Kings of the Mountain, they had a big win earlier tonight, and now they're in the recording session. They're going to send out a feeler tape for Double J Records.
Ooh.
Which they should be a shoo-in because they worked with Jeff Jarrett back in the day, but
for sure.
You never know. We move on. Kishi returns. This is the next week vignette of Kishi returning to action next week, Chad. Ooh. Big Quiche. Former WWE champion. We move on. JBL taking on Sean Davari, and he gets a big win with a powerbomb in 14 minutes. And then JBL grabs the microphone, and he says, you know what? I've beaten the last 2 European champions, and I need the damn respect in the locker room, because not only am I a former champion, I'm beating former champions. So hell, maybe I put my feet in the back of the title picture, because I'm a wrestling god, and I deserve the respect out of you people in the crowd here in Oklahoma City. You disgusting pigs. You smell. You fuck your cattle. It doesn't matter. You bow down and respect the wrestling god. JBL. The Black McMahon dynasty claimed voter fraud, and they started an investigation. I don't remember why I put voter fraud, but I laughed doing it. Our co-main event here, Chad. Chris Jericho getting a big win over Randy Orton in 1932, making him tap out with the Lion Tamer, Chad. Chris Jericho, big win, getting 97s. You need that on your show. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about Chris Jericho's run so far? It's only been a month. Speak up, Chad. I can't hear you.
It's been good. I mean, he's got some good matches. He's lost a couple times, but that's
okay. He lost one time.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fine though. But I mean, big match against Randy Orton.
Big match.
My pick to be the interim champion.
Mike Tenay shows us the history of Oklahoma City and its landmarks, because
Thanks
now
for the history lesson, Mike Tenay.
He's walking down the Riverwalk. He shows us the Alamo, because up next, our main event, it's the Stasiak and Mark Henry Oklahoma street fight.
Hell yeah.
And in an incredible match all over the city of San Antonio.
We give you the Oklahoma street fight live from San Antonio.
Apparently, Mike Tenay got on a different flight, because he showed us the Alamo and the Riverwalk of San Antonio. We need to show everyone about the Oklahoma City stuff. Sorry, guys. That's my apology. Mike Tenay might have just lost his job. He's shooting from the hip, brother. We move on, yeah. And they have a big match all over the streets of Oklahoma City, Chad. Mark Henry, he throws Sean Stasiak through a subway window. Stasiak throws Mark Henry into the river. But at the end of the day, Mark Henry, after Stasiak bruises eye socket and ruins this match, gets the win in 15-0. I don't think Henry was supposed to win that. Oh. Well, Stasiak getting hurt may have put Mark Henry over, as he got a bruised eye socket. Couldn't see. Mark Henry stabbed him with a Nick Gage fork.
Okay, see, more like I can't see.
Well, I had an enjoyment of this Raw. All right, this Raw was great. I had fun during it.
That's what matters.
An injury in the main event is not going to make this rating look good.
No.
But that's how it is.
The 99 might have carried you, you know?
No. This will be like, I might not have blue. This might be like an 84.
Oh, no.
88. Okay. It saved it.
Okay.
It saved it a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I had fun. That was one. Sometimes I phone it in on Raws, but this one I felt like I had a good. Everything's working out good, and I'm really excited for this pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
And damn, an 80, that stinks. But whatever. Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Nitro. Chad, do you know anything going on? Because I know that tonight we get Batista and Hogan.
We do. Yep.
See, I remember what you booked. That's a damn shame
Batista Hogan.
It's disrespectful. You don't remember what I do.
Well, we got Hulk Hogan versus a Wild Boy. We don't know who it's going to be.
Oh, you didn't say it was Batista, did you?
I didn't say it was Batista.
I figured it was going to be
any one of the Wild Boys.
I figured it was going to be Batista.
Spoiler alert, it's Batista.
Yeah, that's it. All right, we'll see you for Nitro.
Okay. All right, Justin, we are here with some Monday Nitro. We are on the road to Great American Bash, and we had 2 big matches booked. Well, we had one big match prepared and 2 big injuries. But
yeah. Well, we haven't really talked about the other one yet.
Yeah, Benoit's also hurt, but Benoit's going to be back in time for the pay-per-view.
Yes, by like a day.
Yeah, by like a day. So, but anyway, yeah, that's it.
So no building to it.
Well, he can still do angles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he can still do angles. He may or may not be in an angle tonight.
I forgot.
So, okay. Well, you're good. You're good. But anyway, we're just going to jump right into this pay-per-view. And we start off, Ted DiBiase and Billy Kidman are here. And they're hyping up Great American Bash. Ted DiBiase says, in the main event of Great American Bash, we've got champion versus champion. First, we have our world heavyweight champion, Bret the Hitman Hart, who has been nothing but a constant professional, a great champion, a fighting champion, and just a great face of WCW. And then on the other side of the ring, we're going to have Chris Benoit, a man who, was injured for a while. And he came back and he said he was going to change wrestling. And he's done just that. He's become the United States champion. And he's been on a run. He's been on a streak that's almost as impressive as another former champion that we've had in this company. He says Benoit's been lighting this company on fire, beating everybody there is to beat, but he hasn't beaten Bret Hart for the world title. And at Great American Bash, both of these two men will put their belts on the line, and it's winner takes all. And tonight, we are going to have a contract signing between Bret Hart and Chris Benoit. And then Ted DiBiase is interrupted by Shawn Michaels, and he says, blah, blah, blah. Ted, nobody cares about what you have to say right now, and nobody cares about Bret Hart versus Chris Benoit. These people paid their money to see Shawn Michaels. And it just so happens, Ted, that I don't have a match for Great American Bash, and quite frankly, Ted, as the highest paid free agent in the history of WCW, I find that incredibly disrespectful.
I don't think that's true.
So, Ted, my question to you is...
I think you paid Rock more.
Well, yeah, but storyline-wise, it's Shawn Michaels.
That's just not true.
Well, it's storyline-wise. That's what it is. Anyway, Shawn Michaels says, so, Ted, what are we going to do to stop this disrespect? And then... you
could say hottest free agent signing.
Hottest and most expensive. And Ted DiBiase says, Shawn, I'm happy you're here tonight, because last week you and Rob Van Dam got into it a little bit, a little light spar of words, and it made me think, I kind of want to see that match. So what are you doing at Great American Bash? Well, I'll tell you what you're going to be doing at Great American Bash. You are going to be going one-on-one against Rob Van Dam. And Rob Van Dam, this week, he's not here this week. He's off doing a special appearance for WCW. You can catch him on the Sci-Fi Channel on a special episode of Stargate. But next week he's gonna be here, and you and him are gonna have your first little face-off before your big match at the pay-per-view. And Shawn Michaels says, Rob Van Dam, you enjoy your little television premiere, and you enjoy your moment in the sun, because let me tell you something, all right? When you come back, when you get in the ring with me, your little comeback, your little heartwarming story is going to end up being a nightmare, because you're stepping into the ring with Shawn Michaels, the best professional wrestler alive, and that match is going to last however long I decide it to last. So I'll see you next week, Rob Van Dam. But before I do, let me just leave all of you with this closing message. And then Shawn Michaels super kicks Ted DiBiase. And as security's coming in to, help their boss who's just struck by Shawn Michaels rolls out of the ring. And it looks like he was going to super kick Billy Kidman too, but Billy Kidman booked it. Billy Kidman was like, fuck this, and rolled out of the ring and ran away. And then Shawn Michaels leaves to go backstage. So Rob Van Dam versus Shawn Michaels at Great American Bash.
I like that. I was worried that you're going to do it tonight, because that's a main event.
No,
that's not. That's a pay-per-view.
That's a pay-per-view match.
You did Benoit, Shawn, last week.
We did. We will have the number one contender.
I know.
But you're right. But we have our opening match of the night: Big Daddy V versus Shane Douglas, and in a bout that had a good heat and decent wrestling. Big Daddy V defeats Shane Douglas in 10:29 with a big splash.
Okay.
And we are in the ring. CM Punk is there with Perry Saturn, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. And CM Punk, he says, at Great American Bash, I'm defending my television championship against Devon Dudley. And that's funny to me because, I really was expecting and hoping that I would actually be able to wrestle an opponent worthy of CM Punk, worthy of the television championship. But instead, I'm wrestling one half of a tag team, and not even the better half of a tag team. I'm wrestling Devon Dudley. Now, Devon, I want you to know that even though you have the biggest match of your career in just a few weeks, you're stepping in the ring against CM Punk, the future of this company. Devon, you shouldn't feel any pressure because guess what? You've got nothing to worry about here. Everybody knows, Devon, you're not going to win this match. So when you don't, no one's going to be really surprised. Your career really won't be that affected. So Devon, no pressure, kid. And then the Dudleys come out with Stacy Keibler. And Devon Dudley's about to say something, but Bubba cuts him off and he says, Punk, before my brother Devon tells you what he's going to tell you, I want to say, first of all, you are talking about 5-time, 6-time tag team champions. All right, the longest reigning tag team champions in WCW history. And also, CM Punk, you're looking at my guy Devon Dudley over here, who will not only beat you at Great American Bash, but he's going to kick your ass at Great American Bash. And then Devon, he chirps up and he says, Bubba, I appreciate it, but I got this. And he says, Punk, ever since you've came here, you've done nothing but run your mouth, and you have those three guys in the ring watching your back. I see Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, one of the best tag teams of all time. But Bubba, if I remember correctly, we beat them, correct? Oh, right, we did. And Perry Saturn, you've been a part of a few tag teams too. You've been a part of the Flock. You've been a part of the other time you got brought back by Raven. And as a tag team, Perry Saturn, Bubba, check our notes. Oh, we beat you too. We've beaten all three of you in CM Punk. We're going to make it all 4 at Great American Bash when I defeat you and win the television championship and prove to you, prove to the fans, and prove to everybody what I already knew, that I am capable of winning singles gold and I'm capable of doing whatever I set my mind to. In fact, how about we have ourselves a little sparring match tonight? How about I go one-on-one against one of your boys tonight? And Punk, he says, Devon, listen, I'm going to save you the embarrassment of being beaten by one of us in a singles match, but I will do this, all right? You and Bubba Ray, you talk about how you've beaten all of these men. Well, how about we have an opportunity to get a win back? How about you two can team up and you can take on Kevin Nash and Scott Hall tonight? And Bubba Ray and Devon, they laugh and they say, okay, well, I don't think you're getting your win back, but you're on. We'll see you guys later tonight.
National are the #1 contenders, right?
National Hall might be #1 contenders. Did they win it? I don't remember.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't remember.
This is your show.
I don't remember. They might be #1 contenders. I don't remember. But regardless, next segment.
What do you mean?
We've got the big show.
No, let's not go for it.
I'll go back and recheck. I'll go back and recheck.
You have notes down?
I have the tag team titles defended, and they're in that match, but it's not a straight up tag team match. It's a multi-man match. So
well, they won a match last week against the Hollies and the FBI. So what was that about?
That doesn't mean they were #1 contenders.
I thought it was.
Was it? I'll have to go back and recheck. It might have been. You could be correct. I thought I just made it a tag team match. I don't remember saying it was #1 contenders. But regardless, we got the Big Show and Taz. I remember they were trying to win some gold, so they were going to start climbing up the ranks. But I don't remember making it a #1 contenders match. But I do remember saying that Punk wanted them to win gold.
You don't know what it was.
I don't think I made it for a #1 contenders match. But regardless, we got the Big Show versus Taz. And then about that great wrestling good heat, Big Show defeats Taz with a choke slam. Taz and Big Show have pretty good chemistry. Let's do the match.
Nice.
After the match, Nick Patrick raises the hand of the Big Show, and Mean Gene Okerlund gets in the ring, and he's interviewing the Big Show, and he says, Big Show, ever since you came here to WCW, you haven't really had the best run, but you got a big win on Taz. Big Show, is this where the momentum turns? And Big Show says, Gene, I am, without a doubt, the biggest, the baddest, and the best professional athlete in all of sports. And you're right, Gene. Maybe it took me a little bit to get back in the swing of things. WCW is a whole nother level of talent, and and maybe I took you a little lightly, and that's on me. All right, but like I said, I'm the best athlete, the biggest athlete in all of professional sports. And you're right, my win against Taz is the turning point, because mark my words, I'm going to beat anybody who gets in my way. And you know what? I'm not going to just beat pro wrestlers. I'll beat any athlete. If any athlete thinks they can step up and take on the world's largest athlete, the best athlete, then why don't you come into my ring and I'll embarrass you. Just like I'm going to embarrass Nick Patrick right now when he chokeslams Nick Patrick, the referee.
Heel turn?
The referee. Because I don't know why he's in this, but he's in it.
Who was it supposed to be?
It was supposed to be just Mean Gene and the Big Show. I don't know why Nick Patrick's there. But, hey, we ran with it. And Justin, we've got a special challenge by Chase Tatum and Chasing Tatum. These women are all competing in a multi-women match, and the winner of this match, Justin, gets to have a special one-on-one date with Chase Tatum next week.
Okay.
A very fancy dinner with all the fixins. And then about that subpar wrestling, a little heat. Daphne defeats Jacqueline Moore, Jazz, Beth Phoenix, Takako, and Medusa when Daphne pins Medusa.
Daphne won?
So Daphne gets a special fancy restaurant date with Chase Tatum.
She's the worst one in this.
Well, she won a match. And Jacqueline sustained ankle ligament damage.
Well, she's out for the rest of it.
After the match, Chase Tatum gets in the ring, and he doesn't really look happy that he's going to be going on a one-on-one date with Daphne. Daphne gets in the ring, and Chase...
Is this Daphne's debut?
Chase stands in the ring, and he says, "Congratulations." But before he can finish it, Daphne grabs and pulls him in and starts smooching him. Big old kisses by Daphne, who then makes this face. He goes, "I won!" and celebrates in the ring. And the announcers are like, "Well, Chase, you got your hands full with this one. Well, have a nice date next week." We go back to one of those old movies that continue to play, old videos, right? We got prison footage of Chris Parks in jail, maybe just jail footage. But anyway, he's in the jail and he's eating and he bumps into a man and they bump into each other and he turns and he just says, "Hey, look, I don't want any trouble." And this guy says, "No, you're good." He says, "Listen, my name is Ricky Banderas."
Why is Ricky Banderas in jail? What happened?
And he says, "Chris, I saw the way you beat up those 3 guys back there, and you're a tough son of a bitch. And me, I'm kind of the man here. Stick with me, Chris. Well, you'll be okay."
I've been in WWE for the last 5 years. How old is this?
This is an old tape. This is an old tape. Mariko Yoshida versus Debbie Malenko in a one-on-one women's match. And about that, decent wrestling, but not much heat. Debbie Malenko defeats Mariko Yoshida.
2 women's matches? What are you, not AEW?
In 12:09 by pinfall. After the match, Jeremy Borash is in the ring to interview Debbie Malenko because she asked for an interview. And she says, "Jeremy Borash, I came out here because I wanted to have everyone's attention. I wanted everyone to have I wanted everyone to pay attention to this, and I wanted to have everyone's attention. You see, Jeremy, I lost to Trish Stratus, and I lost my women's championship. And you know what? I'll give her credit. Maybe I underestimated her. She proved me wrong. Trish Stratus can hang. But let me tell you something, JB. I'm still the best woman on this roster. And unlike past women who have held this championship and who've claimed to be the face of this division, they all left because they knew they couldn't beat Debbie Malenko. All right? And Trish, you're no different. So I'm challenging you to a rematch.
WWE too?
I'm challenging you to a rematch for the women's championship. Trish, I want it to go one-on-one, you versus me, for that women's championship. Now, Trish, you don't have to answer right away. I know you need to think about it. But then Trish Stratus music hits. And she says, "Debbie, that's where you're wrong. I don't need to think about it at all. I've beaten you once. I'll beat you again. You want to go one-on-one against me for the championship. You're on. But I don't want any excuses. I don't want any reason why you can say it's a fluke. So I'll tell you what, Debbie, we're going to have a match where there's no rules. We're going to have a match where anything goes. At Great American Bash, it's going to be you versus me. And Debbie, there will be no excuses because it's going to be a last woman standing."
I got a question. Is this a double turn?
What?
This promo made Debbie look like the face and Trish as the heel.
I don't think it makes them look like a heel. I think Debbie wanted a rematch. And she does admit that she took her lightly. Trish Stratus is still definitely a babyface, though.
Yeah, but usually don't have the faces as calling out for a no DQ
Well,
last woman standing after Debbie said she was the best
because
woman.
Debbie just came out and said, but listen, this. There's still definitely we do things differently.
I know.
WCW.
I just I needed to know just for my own sake.
not a double turn. Not a double turn.
It felt like it for a second.
Not a double turn. But yeah, Justin, Trish Stratus versus Debbie Malenko, last woman standing.
Okay.
And our co-main event, we got Hulk Hogan versus the Wild Boys were all in the ring and they rock, paper, scissors, and Dave Bautista won. And in a good match, Dave Bautista defeats Hulk Hogan in 6:29 with a sit-down powerbomb. Justin, it was a squash match. Batista squashed Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
And Hogan and Batista have great chemistry, though. So that's sick. But yeah, Hulk Hogan lost to Batista. And we get to our main event, the Outsiders versus the Dudley Boys. But we still got the contract signing.
Yeah, but the main event's the match.
Fair. But regardless, and about that good wrestling and desperation from the crowd, the Dudley Boys defeat the Outsiders in 14:49 when Devon pinned Kevin Nash with a Dudley death drop. And the
I didn't even know there was a contract signing.
Yeah, they announced it in the opening promo.
Oh.
And the Dudley, Bubba Ray was head and shoulders above everybody else. Well, that's because Bubba's really good. But regardless,
getting the fucking title shot.
But regardless, 82, our main event. And our closing angle, the contract signing between Bret Hart and Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit starts us off. He says, Bret, you are the pinnacle of professional wrestling. Every wrestler who's ever dreamt of being a wrestler respects you, idolizes you, and has always wanted to be like you, and I'm no different. Bret, I'm a fan, I respect you, and I consider you a friend. And at Great American Bash, I have the honor of stepping in this ring and fighting for the world title against you. But Bret, make no mistake, at that pay-per-view, at Great American Bash, you're not stepping into the ring with a fan. You're not stepping into the ring with your friend. You're stepping into the ring against the best professional wrestler in the world. And Bret, people have been saying this is the passing of a torch. And Bret, that may be true. But regardless of you wanting to pass it or not, at Great American Bash, I'm taking that torch. I will become world champion. And I will prove to everybody why Chris Benoit is the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And Bret Hart, he says, Chris, I'll give it to you. You're a hell of a wrestler, all right? You might even be possibly the best professional wrestler alive today. But unless you beat me, you won't be able to prove it. And let me tell you something, Chris. You can talk you can talk as much as you want, but stepping into the ring against me, you need to do more than talk the talk. You need to walk the walk. And let me ask you something, Chris. How you feeling right now?
Feel good.
Because if memory serves me, you're not 100% right now.
Yeah, well then what's wrong with him?
You're injured.
What?
I think he has like a concussion or something.
Separated shoulder.
Separated shoulder? Yeah. Yeah, it was either that. Yeah, he looks. He says, how's your shoulder? And it's all taped up. He says, Bret. He says, Chris, you are going to need to be 110% to beat me, and you're not, so you won't. And that's the end of that. People are saying this is the passing of the torch. I'm not ready to pass this torch yet. I still have a lot of fuel in the tank. And Chris, you think you have something to prove? I have something to prove, because everyone thinks you're the favorite. Everybody thinks you were the odds-on pick to win. But with your separated shoulder, Chris, you will not be able to get it done. And I will prove once again why I am the world heavyweight champion, why I am the face of this company, and I'm not even going to quote my catchphrase because these fans know it. And unlike you, Benoit, I don't need to steal catchphrases. Chris, I wish you luck. You're going to need it. And Benoit, he says, Bret,
come here.
I don't care if I've got a separated shoulder. I don't care if I've got a concussion. I don't care if I'm missing a leg. At Great American Bash, I will be in that ring. I will be facing you. And separated shoulder, be damned. I'm going. What?
I was about to say, Benoit should be the only person worried about concussions and brain damage.
Oh, no. Oh, no. A Great American Bash, Brett. I'm going to beat you and prove once and for all just how good I am. And, Brett, you're going to have to take a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what's next for Bret Hart? How do you come back? Are you going to be able to overcome this? Or are you going to be like your brother who's are you going to be like Owen, who's a shell of himself and hasn't been good for years? Are you going to fall back into that category, Bret? And Bret, at this has heard enough. Bret says, Chris, this was business, but now you've made it personal. And if you don't watch your mouth, if you don't shut it right now, I'm gonna shut it for you. And Benoit says, make me. And then Bret throws the table away, and they square up, goes nose to nose, and you know, Tony Schiavone, who's leading the contract signing, he says, "Hey, save it for the pay-per-view. Save it for the pay-per-view." And he's trying to calm down Bret, right? He's trying to talk Bret Hart down. And as he's doing that, Benoit turns back around and says, I'll see you at Great American Bash, Bret. Don't get too comfortable with that title." And Bret was definitely trying to go with Benoit, but it was being restrained by Tony Schiavone and some security. Oh. But yeah, we end with a 92 contract signing, and we get an 87 overall.
Best show of Monday, baby. Never a down.
That's okay. That's okay. We were building stories here.
I know, but I think both shows were a big building.
Yeah, big story building today.
Big story building.
Yeah.
Not just for Thunder and SmackDown, just to be, this happened by.
This happened by. We will see you for SmackDown and Thunder. All right, we are here on Thunder, Justin, and what a show we have. Now, show of the week still up for grabs here.
Well, yeah. It's always
Could come down between Thunder and SmackDown.
It probably will. It depends on what the main event here is.
Yeah, it will.
What's the main event tonight, John?
You'll have to see. Well, you'll have to see.
Book a match for later for tonight?
What? Oh, you'll have to see. You'll have to see. But regardless, let's just jump right in. First, we've got a pre-show match. Steve Corino versus Low Ki, and then a pre-show about that decent wrestling, but a little heat. Steve Corino defeats Low Ki in 9:43 with an old school expulsion.
There you go.
And we jump right into our opening promo. We've got Billy Kidman, who says, you know, Ted DiBiase, he's not here.
Tag match, aren't we?
He's not here tonight because he's not here tonight because he's still suffering the effects of that Shawn Michaels super kick on Nitro. However, don't worry, because your favorite authority figure, the law of WCW, Billy Kidman,
Bingo,
is here. All right, and I would like to just welcome the four men who will be fighting for the Universal Championship at Great American Bash. Let me bring them out. First, we've got a man who, in his own right, actually, hell, all four of these men, former Universal Champions. I'll bring out the first guy. First, we've got the fan favorite, the ultimate underdog. We've got Rey Mysterio. He comes out, big pop from the fans. He says, next we've got a man who is known for having some insane violent tendencies. A man who couldn't get the job done against The Rock, but is looking to get the job done against these other three men. We've got Juventud Guerrera. Next up, we've got a man who knows a thing or two about working side by side with an authority figure. This man was part of a group known as the Tap Out Crew, and now he's got some new proteges under his wing, and he's looking to lead by example and recapture the Universal Championship. We've got Ken Shamrock.
God, I hope he wins. I'm telling you right now, I hope he wins.
And last but not least, a man who, you know, he's one of our most pound for pound best fighters in WCW, and a man who is one of our most intense champions we've ever had. We give you Minoru Suzuki, and those four men are in the ring. And you know, and they're all cutting promos. Juventud Guerrera said, you know, Kidman, you mentioned disrespectfully that I couldn't get the job done against The Rock, but Kidman, it's not going to take much to get the job done against these three. Because here's the thing, all right? I'm better than all three of them. And I'm going to prove it this weekend for or this Sunday at the at this month at the pay-per-view, and finally everybody will be able to stop the disrespect and how they treat Juventud Guerrera, a man who has main evented pay-per-views, has held world championships, and all three of you guys, you can't hold a candle to Juventud Guerrera. Rey Mysterio, he says, Juvi, I've main evented Starcades before and defended the championship, as you have as well. He's like, and listen, you and I, we both couldn't win. So we both have something to prove. But I think about that match every single day. I think about how I came up short. And it's been my mission, my dream, my goal to recapture it. And I have the opportunity, and I don't care if I have to run through you, or you, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to become Universal Champion. Minoru Suzuki, he says, Ray, Juvi, Shamrock, the three of you think you have a shot at this championship, but none of you can beat me in the ring. I don't need to talk a lot of game. I don't need to talk a lot of crap against you three, because I'm going to prove it in the ring. It's not going to be close, and I'm going to kick your asses. And Ken Shamrock grabs a microphone and he says, you know, one thing that you three have in common is when you three won the belt, there was never any doubt that you deserved it. When I held that belt, everyone constantly said that I didn't deserve it. Everybody said that I wasn't a worthy champion. Everybody criticized me for hanging around with Sylvester Stallone. I think out of the four men in this ring, I've got the most to prove, because I got to prove that I deserved to be Universal Champion. I deserve to be the face of this brand, and I'm not going anywhere. I will win at Great American Bash. I will recapture that belt, and I will show my proteges, Matt Cross and Lash LaRue, and I'll prove every single person what happens when you believe in yourself and when you work hard. I'm going to win. I'm going to become Universal Champion, and there's not a damn thing any of you three other guys can do about it. And then Billy Kidman says, well, it looks to me that you four men are looking to fight, so I think the main event tonight, I should give you all the opportunity. How about we have a tag team match tonight in the main event? We're going to have Juventud Guerrera teaming up with Minoru Suzuki to take on Ken Shamrock and Rey Mysterio.
There you go.
And that's our main event, Justin.
Let's go.
But first, we've got Monty Brown versus Vader. And in a decent match, Vader defeats Monty Brown in 5:45 with a powerbomb. After the match, Vader is in the ring and he has a microphone and he says, you know, WCW, we've had a weird relationship. You know, we've had our highs and we've had our lows. I've came out here and I've loved performing for you fans. But unfortunately, I'm getting to the point to where I can't do that anymore. I'm getting to the point to where my days in this ring are numbered. And when I thought about where I wanted to end my career, I knew WCW was the place. So everybody here, I want to welcome you all to the Vader farewell tour, but let's get one thing straight. I still have one goal in mind. I want to be a world champion one last time. I want to be the Universal Champion one last time, and I'm going to do it. And I'm gonna earn my way there. I'm gonna climb up these ranks. I'm going to win matches, and I'm going to prove why I'm gonna go out on top. So Justin, it's time. It's Vader's retirement time.
I didn't know he was retiring.
Well, he just announced it right here.
Poor guy.
He wants one last shot at the World Championship before he goes.
That's not gonna happen, brother.
And we've got a singles match, Steven Regal versus Canyon, and about that great wrestling good heat, Steven Regal defeats Chris Canyon in 12:48 with a Regal stretch. He grabs a microphone, the crowd is chanting, Regal, Regal, and he says, you know, every time I walk down the street, you fans walk up to me and you say how proud you are of me and how you like how I stick up for what I believe in, and I fight, and I'll never back down from a fight. And that's true. I will never back down from a fight. And you know, I've made it my goal to become a champion. That's all I've wanted. And you fans have always been behind me. And last week, I lost to Minoru Suzuki. And you fans still didn't give up on me. I took a long, hard look at myself in the mirror and I realized, finally, I know what I need to do. You fans have never given up on me. But I have given up on all of you. You see, you fans continue to get behind me and chant for me, but I never needed you. You see, I do my best work when I'm my violent, nasty self. And I got caught up in what I thought was important, which was you people. But you people have never given me anything. Anything I've ever won in this sport, I've won because I have done it myself. Make no mistake, you fans will never have to cheer my name again because you fans will never bring me success. I'll bring myself success. So mark my words. This is going to be the return of the villain, the nasty bastard that is Steven Regal. And once I go through the ranks and I earn that championship match, it's going to be because I earned it. It had nothing to do with any of you people. So thanks, but thanks for nothing. Steven Regal, Justin, turning heel tonight.
Out of nowhere, really.
We got a tag team match. We got the Hardy Boys, the tag team champions, taking on Payback. And in a match, the Hardys defeated Payback in 1447 when Jeff submitted Tyson Duh with a Texas Cloverleaf. We are back. We go to commercial and we come back and Billy Kidman is in the ring and he's got Shane Helms, Chris Candido, Eric Young, AJ Styles, and Super Crazy. He says, you know, when I decided to do Scars and Stripes at Great American Bash and defend the Cruiserweight Championship, I knew I had to pick the best. So I scoured and I've put together, I think, an assortment of the best cruiserweights we have in this company. We got Shane Helms, Chris Candido, and of course, Showtime Eric Young, our defending champion AJ Styles and Super Crazy. We've got a good group here, and I think this match is going to steal the show. And then Lodi and Homicide come out, and Lodi says, Billy, you say you're going to put together the best selection of cruiserweights, but listen, I'm facing Shark Boy, so I won't be there, so you're already missing one of the best cruiserweights. And I also can't help but notice, Billy, that there's 5 men in that match, and last time I checked, Scars and Stripes last year had 6. So it looks like you're missing a guy. And if you're trying to have the best talent in this match, look no further than my friend Homicide. I'm out here tonight to advocate for him because he's always had a chip on his shoulder, and I think if he had the opportunity to win a big match, he would do just that. So Billy, I think you should put him in, and I think the reason why you won't is because you're scared. And Billy says, Lodi, that's where you're wrong. I'm not scared of anything except for bad ratings. And let me tell you something, Homicide would bring bad ratings, just like you would bring bad ratings, which is why you're not here. You're going to get embarrassed by my other friend, Shark Boy. But I'll tell you what, I'm a caring boss. I'm a fair boss. I'll give Homicide an opportunity to win his way and be a 6th man in this match. But he's going to do it in a match tonight. And you know what, Lodi? I'll even let you fight for his honor too. You two will be taking on tonight a 2-on-3 handicap match. It's going to be you two taking on AJ Styles, Eric Young, and myself. And don't go anywhere, because that match is next. And we've got a 3-on-2 handicap match. And a decent match. Lodi and Homicide defeat AJ, Eric Young, and Billy Kidman when Lodi pinned Eric Young with an aerial brainbuster. So Justin, Homicide is in this match. He's the 6th guy for Scars and Stripes. Nice. Will he win the Cruiserweight Championship?
That would make no sense to put him in if he wasn't going to win.
Well, you might be onto something there. But our next segment, we've got Sting versus Raven. Justin, this match has been for the World Championship before.
Why is it?
2 of the past greats of this company, but of course Sting and Owen Hart have something against Raven after, Raven kind of screwed Owen out of a chance to win the world title, or to fight for the world title. So they're going one-on-one tonight, and in a good match, Raven defeats Sting in 12:59 with a pile driver.
Wait, Raven screwed Sting?
Well, no, Sting just lost, but Owen was competing, and Raven screwed Owen, and Sting's Owen's friend. So they said, we're going to make sure you also don't win a shot at the title ever. So squared off against Raven. And our main event tonight, Minoru Suzuki and Juventud Guerrera take on Ray and Ken Shamrock. And then about that Superb Wrestling in Great Heat, Ray and Ken Shamrock defeated Minoru Suzuki and Juventud when Ray pinned Juvi with a springboard hurricanrana.
That'll do it.
And they didn't click, but we still got a 98. Imagine what would have happened if they had good chemistry. I was kind of hoping for the low-key Ray and Ken Shamrock have good chemistry. And I was like, oh man, that'd be a kind of a banger little team. But regardless, Ray and Ken Shamrock, they pull out the win. And Thunder gets a 93.
That's beatable.
So it's beatable. Let's see if SmackDown can beat it. SmackDown would have beaten it last week. But let's see. But Thunder, going to be the second best show of the week.
Yeah, I'm glad you're.
And it could potentially be the best show depending on how SmackDown does.
It won't.
But regardless, we will see you guys for SmackDown.
That'll be sick.
Oh, yeah, we're here on SmackDown. Justin, you have a big opportunity.
Brian.
You have the opportunity to win Show of the Week. Will you do it?
What? So I got a text right there that was really concerning. Huh? So Chad thinks he's cool.
I know. That's a lie. I don't think I'm cool.
Do I? Yes. I'm at the Coleman Coliseum tonight, Chad, in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Down south, they love their cousins and they love SmackDown.
True.
They do. Let's start off Friday Night
That's
SmackDown.
the kind of audience you're trying to attract. That's, hey, more power to you.
Let's start this show.
Also, sorry to anybody who's from Alabama who might be watching this.
Tonight, we start in the pre-show. Renee is paranoid and thinks every guy backstage who's in a suit is the police. Do you know why, Chad?
Yeah, because the fucking his team ran someone over. Yes, last week, didn't they?
Who'd they run over?
That I don't remember, but I know they ran somebody over.
I wish you just remembered. They ran over the SmackDown Tag Team Champion CW Anderson and Johnny Storm,
right.
Chad.
Yeah.
Renee, still to this point, says he had
He wasn't there. He was not
involvement there. No, he wasn't part of it. Wasn't on the scene. Had no idea what was going on. So, but he says that.
Yes.
He did it.
He did it. But he did it.
That's why he thinks every guy in the suit is the police. Eric Bischoff comes up to him in the suit. He's like, "Fuck, go!" and then runs away. That's the pre-show. We also have Chris Hero and Big Boss Man in a match here. The pre-show. Chris Hero getting a 68, defeating the Big Boss Man in 12:02 with the Heroes Welcome.
That's wild.
Why is that wild?
That's wild, and dare I say, that's crazy.
What do you mean?
Turn this so that stops ringing.
And then our final pre-show match: Stevie Richards and Chris Harris. Those matches for these guys, the family at Vengeance, where they beat basically all the members of the Gentlemen's Club, have really elevated them in the eyes of the fans, but not, and also in ring, because they're now they're all getting 60s or above now, Chad.
Huge, yeah.
And they're on a roll. But we start off Friday Night SmackDown with Eric Bischoff. He announces to everyone's not surprise, but celebration that the police have arrested Sylvain Garnier and Rob Conway.
Good.
For the attempted murder.
I mean, they did run somebody over.
Of C.W. Anderson and Johnny Storm. But he also says because of their injuries due to the accident, the tag team titles have been stripped off of C.W. Anderson and Johnny Storm. And this next match right here, this next match is for the vacated tag team championship.
That's crazy.
We're not even going to wait.
I'm going to wait.
How much fucking... Is that guy just constantly calling you?
What?
It went off again. It might not be like...
Oh, it's not anymore. That's where is it? Huh? A popular guy.
No, it's your mom. Yeah, so they're captured. They're arrested for a little bit. And we got a tag team match up next. It's good. Huge. It's going to be The Departed. Kane and Gene Snitsky taking on Hashimoto and Kojima.
Ooh.
Who do you got?
I mean, I hope it's Kane. I hope Kane wins.
Well, in a great match,
Jesus.
Kojima and Hashimoto defeat Kane and Snitsky in 1537 when Hashimoto pins Gene Snitsky with a brainbuster. And Kojima and Hashimoto have won the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, Strand.
Well, was Kane mad about that? Or
Why would he be mad?
I feel like at this point, Kane's just like, yeah,
Kane's
whatever. You're gonna have me lose again.
This is like 2012 Kane, where he's just like mid-card Kane right now.
there.
He's not main event Kane right now. He will be. He can be. He's getting 82s. You just got to give him a couple wins here and there.
I think Kane won a world championship in 2012. If I'm gonna be honest with you, but
He might have. Who knows? You know mid-card Kane,
wasn't that
though.
when he was doing? Wasn't that when he was like feuding with the Undertaker?
I didn't watch wrestling in 2012.
Like, yeah, maybe it was like 2010. Regardless,
We move on. Jeff Jarrett is trying to. He's talking to Chris Daniels. You know, and he's like, Chris, I really think you'd be the perfect man to start and be my first signing to the Double J Records.
he wants his first big signing, and he's not giving up.
And a mailman, and Chris Daniels was like, "No, man, I don't do this stuff. I wrestle." And then he walks away. And a mailman, UPS, knocks on Jeff Jarrett's shoulder, and he says, "Delivery." And Jeff Jarrett's like, "All right, what's this?" And he looks. It's the King of the Mountain audition tape.
Ooh.
And he says, "Oh boy!" And he turns around and throws it in the trash.
Oh no! Out with the old and with the new. Listen, if he wanted to work with the Kings of the Mountain, he still would be.
We move on, Chen. It's The Undertaker. He's here tonight, and he is taking on Mick Foley in our main event tonight.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's a huge main event tonight.
All right. Well, it was nice having show of the week while we had it. This is gonna get 100 and bang.
This is Taker's only match of the week. He does one SmackDown a month, and this is tonight. We move on, Chad. Ric Flair and Blue Panther in our second match of the night.
Crazy.
Ric Flair, part of the Gentleman's Club, defeating Blue Panther in 1434. He wasn't really part of Vengeance. He didn't really have a match or anything. But oh my God, a 58 Rick. No, brother.
I just saw that. I was like, oh God.
He is really struggling. And he grabs a microphone. He says, "The Nature Boy is here to lay down the challenge to your vengeance. The family, you all came in, you young up-and-coming punk heads. You came in and you beat my fellow Gentlemen's Club members, but you didn't beat the Nature Boy. See, what you did, you may have won, but you also sparked a fire back in their hearts, back in their bodies. Now, you just didn't beat Kurt Hennig, you didn't beat Diamond Dallas Page, you beat former world champions, you beat former Intercontinental champions, you beat former future Hall of Famers. I'm not just gonna let that go to waste. Now, when you think of Ric Flair, you think of two things. You think of the world's sexiest man, and you think of the Four Horsemen. And you think of the world's greatest wrestler, too. That's a third. And you think of a piece of shit. Am I right? See, back in WCW, we ran around as the Four Horsemen. And when we had one big issue, we would settle it in the ring. 4v4 in a war games match. And now the family, you sparked a fire in my boy's heart, but you also sparked a fire in my heart. And when at Battleground, we're laying down the challenge. 4 of us, 4 of you guys, war games. And now you must be thinking it's going to be me, it's going to be Hennig, it's going to be DDP, it's going to be Booker T. Hell, no, Booker T has taken a leave of absence from WWE, bless his heart. So I had to call an old friend to fill his spot, a man that knows war games all too well. That man is Arn Anderson. There he is. I was like,
Arn Anderson.
I thought I put him right here. So he lays down the challenge. The Gentlemen's Club.
4 old fucks.
Take it on the family at War Games, Chad, at Battleground.
That's a WCW match. You're going to have to call it Blood and Guts.
No. Have you done a War Games match?
Yeah, I've done a bunch of War Games matches. I do one a year.
We'll call it Games of War. We move on, Chad. Eric Bischoff, he knocks on Shannon Moore's locker room door and he says, Shannon, you probably would want to go to the ring and watch this next match because it is a battle royal, Chad, to determine
the cruiserweight or the light heavyweight championship #1 contender?
Yes, and this was random who's going to win. And in about that had little heat, but decent wrestling. El Samurai won it, Chad.
Nice.
He just got stripped of the WCW Global Championships, and now he wins a Battle Royal. defeating everyone in this picture.
Damn, I
Tajiri,
was hoping for Chris Sabin.
he lost.
Or Drago.
Chris Sabin lost last week to
I would've
Shenamore.
loved to see
I know you don't remember everything that happened.
I remember that. But I wanted Sabin or Drago. I like them.
Drago, I think.
Tajiri would have been cool too.
Drago's the final elimination, Chad.
Well, there we go.
There we go. Drago's close. Tajiri already had a shot at Shenamore. Don't say true. You didn't know that.
No, I did. I knew that.
We move on, Chad. Cornette and Masawa. They tell Hashimoto and Kojima, well, congrats, guys. And they walk away.
Nice. Interesting.
We move on. Kid Cash defeating Don Fry.
Sure, well, that will lead to nothing down the road.
Don Fry defeats Kid Cash in 1450 with a Dragon Sleeper, Chad.
Nice.
Big win for Don Fry.
Good for Don Fry.
We move on. I think, right? John Cena is talking about his next steps to get back on the right track. And you know,
John Cena Goldberg is sick.
he called his shot at SummerSlam. And Goldberg came out and he speared him.
I was wondering how long it'd take you before you did this.
Goldberg saying he calls out. He's probably gonna just take out all the competition leading to Taker and Masawa because he wants that world heavyweight championship.
I don't know who needs to win more though, John Cena or Goldberg.
Cena, who called his shot at SummerSlam at this point.
Yeah.
The great Slambino.
The great Slambino.
We move on. It's our co-main event. Latin Lover defeats Mystico in 6:03 with the La Casita, Chad.
It's crazy.
Latin Lover, the U.S. champion here. What do you mean? What's crazy about
Crazy.
this?
It's crazy. Got an A7. That's crazy. It's a good match.
Why is that crazy?
Listen, the match could be crazy. Yeah. It's not crazy like surprising. It's crazy.
Okay,
like,
that's
wow,
what I
it's
thought.
nuts.
I'm like, that's not that great. They're very good talent. We move on. Taker, Mick Foley.
96.
It's not even the match. It's just the
good.
it's the hype up.
It's just the hype up.
He gets a 99. The Undertaker defeating Mick Foley in 1634 with a tombstone. He gets on his bike and he starts going up the ramp, and then the lights come off, Chad.
Ooh.
And standing at the top of the ramp,
It's UK The Sting.
it's Masawa, Hashimoto, and Kojima.
As soon as they won the tag titles, I said, "Oh, he's gonna put him with Misawa and Cornette."
And it just says the final bosses right
That's
there.
metal.
I told you, Undertaker, your time as the world champion is coming up. And now, Misawa, Hashimoto, and Kojima, we're going to be the most dominant stable in professional wrestling history because these three are the final bosses. And that is how we end the show. A 95.
95.
What are we doing here, John? Yeah. What are we doing here? Another one for the good guys. We'll see you for week 3, Chad.
You will.
We'll see you for week 3.